Hi, everybody. It's Kelly Russell, the Rock Your Joy Coach. Thanks so much for joining me today. Welcome to my channel. So, my topic for this week is what if your spouse or your mother in law or the president were actually God? So, when I say president, I know that I'm speaking to a worldwide audience here, and I'm not just talking about the president of the US. As a matter of fact, this week, probably the president that is on more people's minds is the president of Russia, Putin. And so I want to talk about this week because Course in Miracles students, we can, be okay ish with everybody being one and everybody being our brother, and we can get up all on that whole oneness bandwagon as long as things are going smoothly, as long as people are relatively behaving the way that we want them to, or at least aren't, being in our estimation batshit crazy or attacking us or attacking someone else or doing something that we just can't be down with. But when that happens, then that's when the ego's fear just takes over, takes the wheel, and now we're just making the world real and we're looking at everything through the eyes of the ego and from a place of fear. And that's what's happening right now. As the movie of the world is playing out with Russia invading the Ukraine and a war being on, it's very easy for us to get into that attack mode. And so what I'm suggesting instead is what the Course in Miracles teaches every day. I mean, the Course in Miracles teachings are not going to be different just because there happens to be a war going on, or because somebody is behaving in a way where they're reflecting the ego's fear and the unconscious guilt that we all share in. And I mean, several years ago, all the eyes were on Donald Trump, and it was like he was the problem. And so, the ego mind is always going to have the issue du jour. They're always that's the nature of the ego, is to make wrong and blame, and either see someone as an attacker or and victimizer or a victim. And if we jump on that train, then we're not healing our minds. We're not getting any closer to waking up from this dream. We're just going to make it more of a nightmare. And so being able to look at everyone as if they were God, they may not be recognizing that themselves. They may be behaving in a manner that seems insane, and yet who among us has not behaved in a manner that seemed insane to somebody when we were coming from a place of fear? That's what happens when you come from a place of fear. You go into attack mode, you go into defense mode. And so if we remember that what the Course in Miracles teaches is that we are all, literally, we are all God. The only difference between God and us is that God created us, we did not create him, but that we have every quality that God is. God, we are created by extension, which means that there is no quality that God has that we don't have. So literally, when we are looking at our brothers, we are looking into the face of God. And if it's not looking like that, if what we're looking at in the dream, if we're looking at anything in the dream that looks like someone is guilty, that looks like somebody is behaving in a manner that is insane, or that someone is victimizing someone or attacking someone, what we need to look at, what we need to remember, is that this is coming as a projection from our own collective unconsciousness. as one. The ego mind looks like it's separate. It looks like it's splintered into 8 billion people or whatever it is right now on this planet alone, let alone whatever's on whatever other planet. And yet, that's not the truth. That's just the ego's crazy ass dream. The truth is that we are all one son of God, and that now more than ever, we need to remember that. We need to remember that when we're tempted to look at a brother as guilty, we're keeping ourselves in that place of guilt as well. That reverberates. When we see someone else as being guilty or the problem or at fault or to blame, we are literally saying the same thing about ourselves. So we're not going to be able to, what the ego tells us is, we can make it their fault and then we're innocent. Of Course in Miracles teaches there is no such thing. There's no such thing as them and we, and there's no such thing as a brother being guilty and us being able to see ourselves as innocent. It doesn't work like that. If they're guilty, we're guilty. If they're innocent, we're innocent. And so it all starts with how we look at people in our minds. And it's not about what we do as in terms of taking action in the dream. And I'm not suggesting that we just sit around and do nothing. But what I am suggesting is the first thing that we do is reach for the miracle. So the miracle in A Course in Miracles is a shift in perception from fear to love. And the tool that the Course gives us to bring that about is its particular version of forgiveness. The first phrase is in the forgiveness process is, I forgive you. And the very next phrase is, because there is nothing to forgive. Why is there nothing to forgive? There's nothing to forgive because nobody is guilty. This is an illusion that the ego mind is making up. And we can choose to see it and see our brothers as guilty and freak out and go into a panic and, become enraged, become fearful, go on the attack. Or we can choose to hold our center, to remember that what we're witnessing here is just a projection of the ego, and that it looks like this is what is happening. And so what we do first is we ask for our vision to be corrected. So in that forgiveness process, I forgive this because I remember there's nothing to forgive. I remember that I'm dreaming an illusion that the ego mind made up. And I forgive myself for dreaming this. I forgive myself for dreaming this. I'm not forgiving you because you did wrong. I'm forgiving myself for believing in this crazy nightmare in the first place. I ask Spirit to correct my vision to help me see this differently. And I release the whole situation to Spirit to be healed. And then I ask for guidance. Is there something for me to do here? What is mine to do here in addition to seeing my brothers as innocent, to seeing the God and the light in my brothers? So if we knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that each and every person that we know, that we meet, that we read about were actually God, maybe we would actually be thinking differently about them. Maybe we would be treating them differently. We would hold different beliefs about them. But we don't. We don't see the God in them. We insist on seeing them as guilty and evil and bad and terrible. And yes, in this world of the ego dream, this split off part of our minds that has created this world of form, this world of duality, it looks like there are a lot of terrible things going on and people being victimized and tragedies and murder and hatred and war and all forms of fear and attack. And in this dream world, that is what is happening. But my message is not to make this world your reality. So yes, remember that we're in a dream, and in this dream, is there something that I need to be doing? We can remember that this is not our reality, that it is not our home, and at the same time, we can make decisions here in the dream, here in the dream where we have different forms of magic, like we breathe air and we eat food and we drink water and we have bodies. It doesn't mean that that's our reality. It means we know that we are dreaming and that this is what we kind of need to do in the dream while we're in the process of waking up. And that's what I'm suggesting, is that as you ask for guidance for what is yours to do here, and what is yours to do may be doing something that involves giving money to the the country of the Ukraine, to help the people, and whatever aid you might be called to give. It might be donating blood, it might be donating food, it might be doing whatever in the larger sense in terms of the international things that you might be drawn to address. But it also starts right here in your own home with your own relationships. And there's no difference between you taking care of the relationships in your life and taking care of the people that are experiencing, being refugees of war-torn countries. There's no difference there. It's all the same. It's all about practicing forgiveness and getting your mind straight and your vision corrected about what is really going on here. And then as you ask for the guidance of what is yours to do, it's not going to do the world any good if you are helping people in the Ukraine and you're taking on refugee families and you're doing all that and your own relationships are all fucked up. That's not going to help anything. So it's really about seeing all of your relationships as representative of the relationship that you have with God, being able to see God in every person, seeing that light of God in every being, seeing everyone as your brother, and forgiving them, like Jesus said, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. And we've all been there. We've all been crazy. We have all been power hungry. We have all been control freaks. We've all made decisions that have harmed people in our lives. We're not holier than thou. There's nobody that's holier than thou. Thou and thee are equally holy. We are equally holy as the Son of God, the one Son of God, in which all beings without exception are included in that. So my suggestion to you is to practice the forgiveness when you notice yourself having fear-based or attack thoughts around this entire Russian-Ukrainian situation, and then going into your form of true prayer and asking Spirit, just putting the whole situation on the altar, asking Spirit, what is yours to do here? If in addition to seeing your brother as innocent, in addition to you cleaning up and taking care of those aspects of God that are living in your own house or in your own circle or in your own community, as well as extending it then your light outward to encompass all beings, and for you that may include also helping the refugee situation. And so that's what I got to say today. If you would like more help with that in terms of meditations for guidance, meditation for inner peace, a workshop about how to be happy no matter what, and other goodies, you can click, there's some links below that you can check that out and find those they're free on my website. And if you're thinking about help with how to help your own relationships, how to heal your own relationships, how to heal your relationship with Spirit, how to have a miraculous life and be able to come from this place of love, day in and day out, I suggest booking a coaching call with me, a free discovery call, where it's an actual live coaching call, and we talk about how I might be able to help you with one of my coaching programs. So thanks so much for being with me today. And remember, God is all of us, every one of us. And so I see the light in you. I see the love in you. I see the God in you. You are, I am, God is. Namaste.